Luigi Mangione is now formally charged and indicted for murder. And let me be perfectly clear. In the nearly 2 weeks since Mr. Thompson's killing, we have seen a shocking and appalling celebration of cold-blooded murder. Social media has erupted with praise for this cowardly attack. People ghoulishly plastered posters threatening the other CEOs, with an X over Mr. Thompson's picture, as though he was some sort of a sick trophy. Yesterday, the New York Post reported that some extreme activists were circulating a deck of cards with other most wanted CEOs to be targeted for assassination.
Did you know in 2003, the U.S. military, a defense agency, created a most wanted Iraqi playing card set? They had like their name and like what party, what they do, things like that. But a follower, shout out JDL, reached out and said, we should do this for CEOs. So yes, I'm actively making this playing card set, 52 CEOs. I have a list, but if anyone has someone exceptional that they want to toss the name in the ring, let me know. I am making that this weekend. I might push a little bit, but it's going to be up for pre-order in like the next couple days. So look out and help me.
Let me say this plainly. There is no heroism in what Mangione did.
Today's episode, make sure you buckle up, as for these past 2 weeks has been taking quite a turn. The people have been giving big praise to the CEO assassin, Luigi Mangione. So much so that the NYPD commissioner herself has been putting her 2 cents in. Now, no need for me to talk anymore, as we're about to dive deep into this topic, where we put our 2 cents in. Stay tuned. Air's on there, back at it like we never left. Dante Jr., Dante Sr. What's the word on the street in the West Coast, Pop?
Ain't shit out here. Getting cold, and I'm staying inside.
I know that's right. Well, just like here, it's cold, but we're going to stay frosty just like this topic we're about to get into. Now, I'm sure you know about the CEO incident that's been talked about for a week now.
Yeah, definitely.
It has been a crazy week, but the deletion itself is not what we're about to get into. It's the reactions. The people on social media has expressed their opinions about the gunman, which has caused quite a stir and raised a few questions about people as a whole. But before we get into that, we're going to do a recap. And I want you to pay attention to what Governor Shapiro said about the public's response to the shooter.
Overnight, Manhattan prosecutors filing a murder charge against Luigi Mangione for last week's shooting of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson, gunned down in the streets of Midtown Manhattan as he was visiting for a conference. Police launching a multi-state manhunt. The 26-year-old suspect was captured Monday, recognized by an employee at a McDonald's in Altoona, Pennsylvania, 5 days after the murder and 280 miles away. Police say Mangione's identity was not on their radar until the sighting.
No, we did not have his name prior to today.
Officer Tyler Fry, just 6 months on the job, responded with his partner.
He was wearing a blue medical mask. As soon as we pulled that down, or we asked him to pull it down, me and my partner and I recognized him immediately.
The arresting officers asking him if he had been in New York City recently.
He became visibly nervous, kind of shaking at that question.
According to the complaint, Mangione initially gave police a fake New Jersey driver's license, the same one police say was used to book a room at a Manhattan hostel. The charging documents also revealing when officers searched his backpack, they found a black 3D printed pistol and silencer. The case sparking global interest and some online backlash against the insurance industry. Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro speaking out overnight.
I understand people have real frustration with our healthcare system. This killer is being hailed as a hero. Hear me on this. He is no hero. The real hero in this story is the person who called 911.
Now, first thing I will say is my condolences to Brian Thompson's family. Did you catch what was said by Governor Shapiro? He said the killer is being hailed as a hero. Now, the people are clashing to determine whether the gunman, Luigi, is a hero or not. That is what's causing the stir. For me, I can see from both sides whether he is a hero or not, which I will explain later. But Dad, what do you think?
I think Luigi is absolutely not a hero. This guy is a coward. 100%, he's a coward. How do you shoot a man in the back? He's a coward. That the first and foremost, to me, it's not even a debate whether he's a hero. He's a straight coward.
Before we dive deep into this, We will just go on to the next video and see what Mr. Anton Daniels had to say about the incident.
Anton.
Is our default automatically to be wrong or automatically to be negative about the situation and say, well, he deserved it, or this is a reflection of the system, or a bunch of people got denied healthcare coverage? I think that each individual situation needs to be evaluated according to its own merit. I don't like doing a end all be all broad reach. This is the entirety of it. I don't believe that anybody is a monolith. I don't believe that every CEO is the same. I don't believe that everybody that got to the top did it negatively. I just don't believe that. Do I believe that there are companies that are benefiting significantly more than they're putting out? Absolutely. I still stand on the idea that you can't just by default say that somebody needs to lose their life. That is an extreme. You can't say that somebody needs to lose their life or you're okay with somebody losing their life because you disagree with how they're running their company.
Any thoughts on that?
I agree with Anton. I mean, not a surprise. People are upset at the healthcare industry. I don't know how that transfers into the CEO of the company. One CEO of the many healthcare companies that are out there. I'm not understanding. Everyone's upset at the like I would say, everyone's upset with the CEO for what? He didn't specifically deny your claim. He didn't specifically say that these things aren't covered. He's the CEO. He's handing down policy. I'm not understanding the public's outrage.
I do believe what Anton said is somewhat correct. Although, yes, nobody should lose their life just because you do not agree on how they run their company. That's just obvious. But I think for how the people are reacting towards, I believe since it's at the expense of other people's lives, the health insurers stripped away from their resources or being limited to certain coverages. I think that is the problem. But for them to come at CEO specifically is what's bringing the problem. Another thing I will say is I am not condoning the deletion, but I would understand where the person is coming from. Now, it is sort of hard to say knowing that the gunman is coming from a wealthy family. The health insurance system has its flaws where people are denied health care or limited by the amount of time a patient can receive anesthetics, which I initially think this is what's bringing the people together and causing an uproar, whether it entirely affects them or not.
I understand the outrage, right? I get it. I understand where people are coming from. For people who've had medical conditions, medical emergencies, coverages stripped away, I get it. And the CEO deletion, it's a symbol, right? People aren't looking at Brian Thompson as an individual. He is a symbol of the system of healthcare. And him, tragically being deleted, people are celebrating that because it's like, we get our get back, right? Like you deny us and our family members pass away and now this happens to you. But that is just a complete backwards way of thinking because they're looking at him as a symbol and not an individual. He's a man, he was a husband, he had kids. And now they're gone because someone with mental illness, I don't know, there's been no motive so far. A man with mental illness decided that he was going to take his frustrations out on this guy. I think this guy is very similar to these school shooters that we see, just taking his internal frustrations out on the outside world.
But before we go further, let's get into the next video where some people condemn it and some people condone it.
Okay.
People in the comments just being so mean. Someone said thoughts and prayers and deductibles. Another person said, oh no, maybe the hospital was not in network. What is wrong? Oh my.
I don't think he did it. But you know what? Even if he did do it, you know what I mean?
Well, the real important question is not which CEO is next, who's gonna do it? Who's gonna step up to be the new assassin?
Thoughts and prayers go out to the family. However, the assassin was super impressive. Okay, We've never seen anything like this. There's something extremely erotic about a man who's super good with a gun. I mean, this man had practice. He knew what he was doing. I've watched the video 2, 3, 4, 5 times just in.
It just confirms what I said previously. Looking at him as if he is a symbol of the healthcare system, thoughts, prayers, and deductibles. See what I mean? I didn't even know that was coming up. And he's looked at as a symbol of the healthcare system as opposed to an individual. And the other two people, it's just a sign of the times. Everything is a joke. Everything is not that serious. Nothing is to be taken seriously, and everything can be made and used for content, even in kind of a joking manner. But it's funny that the people who filmed these, I guess these jokes, I guess is what you'll say, if their family member passed away because of it wasn't in network, their coverage wasn't in network, or thoughts and prayers and deductibles, they wouldn't think it was very funny. So it's like it doesn't impact me, so I'm going to laugh about it. I don't know. This is where we are in America, unfortunately.
The biggest things just be taken as a joke, like the submarine incident.
Anything and everything that's to be taken seriously, especially including the loss of life, someone's going to make a joke about it somewhere online. Even think about even a couple of years ago, people made jokes when Kobe Bryant passed away in a helicopter accident. We are in the era where people joke about everything as long as it doesn't impact them.
How I see it is that I believe it's more so a Robin Hood kind of praise. This is how people like kind of see it. It's like taking out the rich and giving it to the poor. But in this case, there's nothing being given to the poor. It's just more so taking out the head honcho when nothing's really going to be happening. It's just a representation of like people who are involved with the problems that they're having with insurance companies. Is that, hey, I've been having this kind of problem, and such and such is taken out. Like you said, they feel like they're getting their get back.
But on the flip side, this is the irony of it all, is that the shooter comes from a wealthy family. He wasn't, you said the whole Robin Hood theory, right? He wasn't from a poor family. He went to a $40,000 per year prep school. Like, he was wealthy. The CEO was the person who actually came from humble beginnings and rose to become the CEO. This is such an ass backwards situation.
It's really more so like people not really doing like the background checks, because it's like you said, the gunman came out from a wealthy family, and the guy's just he rose to the top. So it's like for this to happen, it really should be more of an uproar. Well, to me, it's really more so an uproar to the gunman, not the CEO.
Yeah, but like I said, it's the symbol of it all, right?
Yeah,
It's symbolism. People's, as we discussed previous, it's the symbol of what the CEO represents, regardless of the fact that the shooter is wealthy. People still are going to empathize with him because he took out the CEO. This, like I said, this is one of the most ass backwards things I've seen in a long time.
Since it happened, well, there has been a few reports or articles, I would say. A few insurance companies have responded to the CEO incident. I'm not too sure if it really collides with the two, because it seems too quick for it to happen. Anthem has revised their plan to put time limits on anesthesia coverage the day after the incident. It would be a stretch that the incident is the cause from it. It's not far from it.
Likely with these corporate decisions, it was the bad press that was coming along with it. I remember that coverage where they decided, or that decision where they decided not to cover a certain amount of time under anesthesia when someone's on the operating table. Once it becomes public, and then the public, the media reports on it, and then they get public outrage, then they start to think about, because they don't want their company to be seen with this bad image. So do I think it correlates necessarily with the CEO's death? No, but it probably more closely aligns with the fact that they were getting a lot of bad press because of it.
There has been a statistic, or a chart really. The United Healthcare has a 32% denial rate, which I'm not too sure how credible that really is, because private health insurers don't record or at the very least present data claim denials to the people. The chart has been removed from the article, even though the alleged denial rates are still being presented. Do you think the numbers are credible? Leave a comment down below and let us know what you think. With that being said, there's one last video I would like to show you to sum things up.
CEOs do not care about violence. That is not their language. 10 of their closest loved ones could get shot in the face directly in front of their face, and they wouldn't even bat an eyelash. You know what would make them bat an eyelash? If they wake up one day and profits are down by 5%. That'll make them go, whoa, what the hell? Violence they see, they go, I don't get. They literally stepped over that guy. They were just like, I'm late, buddy. Sorry.
Like, why would people be so happy about something like that? It's because people have been fucked for so long. People have been fucked for so long. The whole system is just entirely in shambles. The whole thing is a fucking scam. Like, it's actually insane to me that the idea of universal healthcare is considered controversial or radical when healthcare should be a basic human right. Do you want to know why people are celebrating and not having empathy for him? It's because the man literally made millions, if not billions of dollars off of sick people dying, off of denying people a basic human right.
All right. Based on how things seem, it looks as though the people are just tired of getting the short end of the stick. As for the first guy, he brings an interesting perspective as to what other CEOs could think, but the CEO could really make an impact like that, unless it's like how you said it before, it's more so like media coverage. It's just like, but yeah, that's really more so what could really move them. But what do you think?
I think the first guy has been a little hyperbolic, right? His family members can get shot in the face and he wouldn't care. And he only cares if the stock price goes down by 5% or the revenues go down by 5%. I get it. He's just kind of he's over exaggerating. Of course, the CEOs care about their family clearly, but what you're talking about is public health care. Healthcare is a for-profit business, right? So with any for-profit business, you are going to get some positives and negatives. It's just that the negatives just seem so heartless because you're talking about someone's life and you're denying them coverage. But unfortunately, this is the system that we live in America, and it's not changing anytime soon. So I understand that. The second guy saying that why people don't have empathy for the CEOs because he made millions, if not billions. Again, it's a for-profit system. What do you want? We all have jobs. We all work for what? Because we want to earn a living, and the companies that we work for are profitable. If they weren't profitable, they would go out of business. So I get it. Healthcare is a touchy subject, especially if you have medical issues and they are like kind of messing around with your coverage. I understand that, but the CEO, Brian Thompson, passing away, that's not going to change one decision that these companies make moving forward. Not one decision. He does have a significant influence over how the course of the company goes, or the policies, procedures, what direction the company goes. And he was CEO. He became CEO because he can make the company more profitable. That's part of a CEO's role.
But for the people to try to just put it all on him and think it's going to make a change, it's like you said, it's not really. It's not really
a symbol.
Yeah,
it's a symbolism.
All right. With all that being said, anything you agree, disagree, questions, comments, statements, whatever you gotta let out, let us know in the comment section, and make sure you subscribe. Air's on air, and we out.